Why the heck would you go out of your way to follow us to Hawaii like this? It's kinda cringe. I get it's probably appealing to sponge off your big brother. He is a doctor who made a success of his life, after all, unlike some. But me and Harold are getting married soon, and we don't need you inviting yourself into our private lives. You're going to have to stop sponging off us. This really can't go on. At this point, how are you any better than a parasite living in a cat's intestine? Huh? Julia, where did this come from all of a sudden? Are you seriously calling me a sponging parasite? Hooray! Well done, you can read. Yes, I am, and that goes for your sniveling leech of a father, too. Huh? How is my dad a leech? How is he not? I mean, really, you think that just because your brother Harold is a doctor, you think that gives you the right to come with us on our honeymoon to Hawaii? What's worse, Harold was the one who invited you, wasn't he? Basically, that means he'll be paying for you, doesn't it? You really landed on your feet this time. Yeah, he did tell me that he didn't mind covering my flight and hotel fees. Exactly. If that doesn't make you a parasite, then what the hell does? You're the most despicable, shameless parasite there ever was. Harold should start taking medication to get rid of you. This is why people raised by single parents are a blight on humanity and should be eradicated. You've lived your whole life relying on the good nature and sympathy of others. You probably learned to behave that way from your father when you saw him living off government handouts, didn't you? Things learned from such an early age in childhood are hard to shake, so unfortunately, you'll probably never change. I'd appreciate it if you didn't insult my dad, Julia. Also, you're dead wrong. He never received government handouts, not even once. It's incredibly rude to insult people from single-parent households like that, and the idea that they're leeches and parasites because of their parents is just… Well, Julia, to be honest with you, it's disgusting. I have no intention of leeching off of anyone. This is Harold's way of thanking our dad for all of his hard work and tireless dedication in raising us. He wanted to give him a present he'd never forget, so he invited us both. There's really nothing more to it than that. Besides, I can assure you we don't intend on getting in your way on your honeymoon. It was your idea to do both the wedding and honeymoon in Hawaii, right? What were we supposed to do, not come to your wedding? Julia, you mind if I ask you something? Why do you hate me and my dad so much? You want the truth? Because you're an eyesore and your existence is a nuisance to me. That goes for your dad, too. An eyesore? Our existence is a nuisance? Do you seriously mean that? Obviously I mean it. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I worked so hard and finally managed to bag myself a high-spec guy with a well-paying job and a nice car. How was I to know he was raised by a goddamn single father? I mean, seriously, who follows their son on his honeymoon? And neither of you are wanted here. The fact that Harold is paying for the both of you to come just adds insult to injury. I feel so betrayed. You couldn't make it any more obvious how broke you are. You're both parasites leeching off my Harold, the doctor, the only successful member of your family. I gotta tell you, Zara, having to look after a pair of leeches like you two is gonna be a major downside of marrying him. Isn't calling us parasites and leeches crossing the line? There are some things you just don't say to people. I'll have you know, me and my dad aren't broke at all. Hasn't my brother told you? To be honest, I'd rather watch paint dry than listen to Harold talk about his family, so even if he did mention it, it probably went straight in one ear and out the other. So the answer is no, I don't know what the crap you're talking about. Why would I want to hear him drone on about a pair of broke losers? If I took sympathy on you, you'd only start begging for money from me too. Sadly, that's just how people from single-parent households are. Isn't there a single part of you that thinks you might be crossing a line here? Julia, you do realize me and you are going to be family soon, right? Would it really kill you to try and get along with me? I'd love to have a proper conversation with you, so won't you set aside those misguided prejudices and level with me? I'm not holding it against you. It seems fashionable to spew hatred and bigotry these days. You see it on social media and in the news all the time, so it's not surprising that people would start to believe it. But if you let me explain, I'm sure you'll understand those things aren't true. Uh-huh. Oh, do forgive me, dear. Your incessant whining sent me to sleep. Come on, Zara, let's be real here. You work as a receptionist at a hospital, don't you? Huh? Sure I do. Why? Pathetic. Your salary must be super low, right? Some of my friends, or acquaintances I should say, are losers just like you, so I'm familiar with the sad reality on the ground. The daughter of a single dad, the hotel receptionist. I couldn't make it sound any more tragic if I tried. Losers? Tragic? I've weighed out the pros and cons of becoming friends with you, but my calculations tell me there would be nothing but disadvantages. Why should I make the effort to get along with you? What's in it for me? I'm not sure how exactly I'm supposed to answer that. The fact you seem to view friendship as some kind of business transaction is messed up to begin with. Anyway, Harold invited me and my dad to the wedding, so we're going to come. If the idea of Harold covering our travel expenses is so reprehensible to you, then we don't mind paying ourselves. Don't worry, you won't have to do anything. I'll pass the message on to my brother and this whole thing will be ironed out in a jiffy. Yes, please do that. Fine, in that case, I'll allow it. But you and that good-for-nothing daddy of yours better make sure you're on your best behavior. Our best behavior? What's that supposed to mean? It's patently obvious I despise peasant scum like you. If Harold gets the idea that me and his family don't get along before the wedding, it wouldn't be surprising if it made him sad, would it? Sure, I guess it wouldn't. So you're thinking of Harold in your own way, then? What kind of ridiculous question is that? Of course I am. Do you really think I'd do anything to mess up this marriage after I worked so hard to bag myself a doctor? There's nothing I won't do to keep Harold, sweetie. Wow, you seem more pleased about the idea of marrying a doctor than you do about marrying my brother. Is that part just incidental? Whatever, let's not carry on with this. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't seriously worried and anxious about this whole thing now, but okay, understood. Hey, Harold, I just got done talking with Pops. It's about the wedding vacation to Hawaii. We're thinking of covering our own expenses. Dad said he doesn't mind.
What? Are you joking? Come on, sis. Let me at least pay for you guys this time. Why would you spring this on me all of a sudden? You know I don't mind covering everything.
Well, we just thought it seemed unreasonable for you to foot the entire bill. Trips to Hawaii don't exactly come cheap, right? You and Julia are about to get married. Surely there are a bunch of other things you'll be needing to spend money on. There's no need to overdo it.
I'm not overdoing it at all. Besides, I'm super grateful to Dad, and this was supposed to be my way of saying thanks. It's not Julia's money, if that's what you think. I plan on covering all of you guys' expenses myself. She knows all about it and doesn't mind at all, so if that's what you're worried about, then you don't need to be.
That's not the impression I got.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Just what kind of person is Julia? She really doesn't seem to think too highly of us for being raised in a single-parent household. Haven't you told her about Dad?
I did tell her, but I kinda got the impression she wasn't listening. But yeah, of course I told her. It's connected to my job after all.
Right? That's what I thought. Well, in that case, I guess she really wasn't listening. It's super important, but she seems to be completely oblivious.
What's this about Zara? Did Julia say something to you? Why do I get the feeling you're beating around the bush? If she said anything weird or out of line to you, then I want to know about it. To be honest, listen, Zara, this conversation never leaves this chat, okay? The truth is, I've been having second thoughts about the marriage myself.
Huh? Second thoughts? Why? But weren't you supposed to be officially registering the marriage soon? Isn't it next week?
I decided to postpone it a little. Some things happened.
Some things? Like what? Hey, Julia, are you there? We just landed at the airport in Hawaii. But the hotel taxi that was supposed to be arranged for us hasn't shown up. You were the one who booked it, right? Oh my God, did you actually come? What kind of question is that? Of course we did. Jeez, I didn't think you'd actually show up. How is it possible you didn't realize you're not welcome here? Learn to take a hint. I was so sure you'd get the message. I canceled your hotel reservation. Whoa, wait a sec. What the hell? You canceled the hotel? Why would you do something like that without even telling us? Isn't it obvious? Because a pair of broke peasants like you aren't wanted in a luxury establishment like that. You'll spoil the atmosphere. You can sleep on the streets like the flea-ridden dogs you are. Julia, you need to cut this crap out right now. Me and my dad came to Hawaii to be at yours and Harold's wedding. Why would you do this to us? Why ask obvious questions? Because you're from a single-parent household, duh. I take it your mom divorced your dad because he didn't make the grade as a man. It's so tragic. We can't have you killing the vibe at the wedding. There's no smoke without fire, and there's no divorce without a reason. Your dad looks like the kind of low IQ, mediocre moron who'd get dumped. What the... Julia, do you really not know? You know what? I'm not going to even entertain you. Nobody, and I mean nobody, talks about my family like that. You went too far this time. Canceling the hotel behind our backs would have been bad enough on its own, but now this? You are not coming on our vacation to Hawaii on my husband's dime. We have no money for you single-parent household scum. Hurry up and go home. Fine, we'll go home. Never contact me again. Are you sure that's what you want? Something tells me you'll end up regretting this in a big way before long. Regret? Don't be so ridiculous. If this means I can finally get rid of the two no-good waste of space broke losers who've been plaguing my life with their existence since me and Harold got engaged, I'll consider myself lucky. So you did this just because you wanted to get rid of us, huh? Well, Julia, be careful what you wish for. That's all I'll say for now. You're not even worth the time it would take for me to write out a message explaining why you're so hateful and twisted. I actually planned on breaking things off with you too, so this works out perfectly. Quit whining at me and disappear, you worthless gutter-crawling peasant. Goodbye, Julia. I hope you rot in hell. Zara, where are you right now? This is urgent. I'll send your hotel taxi to the airport immediately. Is that where you are? Can you come to the hotel now? This is an emergency. Don't worry about your reservation. I'll book you in with reception before you get here. I'll see to it you get the best room in the hotel. Don't bother. We already decided to go home. You've changed your tune, huh? What happened? Just a few hours ago, you were ordering me and my dad to go home and insulting us with every name under the sun. I realized I was wrong. I made a mistake. I had no idea Harold would be so mad with me. I've never seen him like that before. This is the first time he ever got mad with me since we met. He totally lost it. I felt like I was talking to a different person all of a sudden. It's not surprising he'd be mad at you. He wanted to thank our dad for everything he's done by treating him to a luxury vacation to Hawaii. But then you tried to send us home in secret behind his back. Well, don't worry, Julia, because you got your wish. Me and my dad are going to enjoy Hawaii for a while before going home, just the two of us. We won't be in attendance at the wedding. Why? Because we're opposed to you getting married. Huh? You're opposed to the marriage? Where did this nonsense come from all of a sudden? Have you been drinking or something? Don't be ridiculous. Are you seriously going to pretend you don't know? You look down your nose at me and my dad with absolute contempt and disdain. You insult us by calling us every hurtful name under the sun. You even make fun of the circumstances that led to him becoming a single dad in the first place. You treat us like dirt on the bottom of your shoe, and what's worse, you see absolutely nothing wrong with it. You're even more detached from reality than I thought if the fact that we're opposed to the wedding after being subjected to all of that is a surprise. Don't be silly, Zara. You will come back, won't you? Surely we can talk this through like mature, responsible adults. If you don't, Harold will be upset. Do you want to hurt your brother? Is that it? I know you're not so black-hearted that you'd intentionally upset Harold, so stop this nonsense at once and get back here. I'm the same. I care about him too, and it would break my heart to see him down in the dumps because of the actions of his selfish sister. Quit trying to guilt-trip me, Julia. Of course I don't want to see Harold upset, but you clearly have no idea about what my brother wants. Me and you are not the same. What's that supposed to mean? You married my brother for his money, right? He's a doctor, which of course is a very prestigious, high-earning job. That money and prestige is really all you were after, isn't it? Cut the crap. You couldn't give a crap about my brother because you're not with him for him. You're with him for his money. You just realized you screwed up and you're desperately squirming to try and worm your way out of the mess you've made. What? What a load of nonsense. I've never heard anything so absurd in my life. No way, you know that's not true. Me and Harold are getting married because we love each other. I'm his treacle tart and he's my sugar dumpling, you imbecile. I promise you, you are most definitely not his sugar dumpling. Besides, what kind of cringy nickname is that? What? Yes, I am. I am. Why are you saying this stuff? Because if you genuinely loved Harold, would you really insult our dad, who he loves very much, and who worked, toiled, and sacrificed to raise us both into the people we are today? You do realize my brother was raised in the same household as me, right? Making fun of me and my dad, insulting us, looking down your nose at us with hatred and contempt means you were doing the exact same thing to my brother. How do you not understand that? Well, that was, never my intention. Harold's amazing, after all. He worked super hard to get himself into medical school through self-study and became a doctor entirely through discipline, persistence, and sheer force of will. He earns a handsome salary as a doctor now, so he has nothing to do with your single-father household anymore. Harold got to where he is through hard work. Our dad's the director of the hospital Harold works at. Huh? That's not all. Our mom died of terminal cancer when me and Harold were young. What the hell was all that crap about her divorcing my dad for not making the grade as a man? How can you speak so confidently on things you know absolutely nothing about? What's even crazier is that Harold actually told you, but you clearly weren't listening. I don't want anything more to do with some kind of scumbag who takes sick pleasure in making fun of and insulting my family. No. Just wait a second, please, Zara. Hang on a sec. Did Harold tell me about that? I don't know whether you remember, but there's no way Harold wouldn't tell someone so important to him about our family's story. Anyway, he told me all about you. About how you're constantly glued to your phone, never putting it down, even when you go to the toilet or take a shower. You're so obsessed with it, you don't even listen to my brother when he speaks to you. That's why he's been having second thoughts about the marriage for a long time. Whoa, what? Second thoughts about the marriage? No way, you're lying. Something tells me you've had this coming for a long time. This was just the straw that broke the camel's back. This should probably go without saying, but our dad's vehemently opposed to the wedding, too. How about you just accept you were in the wrong, give up, and move on? This whole thing will be a lot easier for all of us that way. Give up? On what? What's that supposed to mean? On your plan to marry my brother so you can exploit him for his money. It's not like you can even get married now anyway. Don't talk crap, woman. Like hell I'm giving up on Harold. He's my fiancé and I love him. We are getting married and we won't let you stand in our way. Stop talking nonsense. Sure, fine, I admit it. My judgments about your dad may have been a little wide of the mark. I mean, hospital director? Wow, I had absolutely no idea. That's funny because my brother told you very clearly. How about you start listening to him for a change? Okay, deal. I promise I'll be more attentive to him in the future. I admit I must not have been listening too because I don't remember that at all. I jumped to the wrong conclusion when I assumed your mom divorced your dad for being a loser. I also accept that I said some rude, unacceptable things to you based on that misunderstanding. Please, will you give me a chance to apologize? I'm really sorry. See? I apologized. You must see how serious I am now. Surely you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I swear, I'll never try and kick you out of anything again, too. You can even come to the wedding. You have my blessing. So just come back, will you? Like, right now? Swearing on it isn't going to change anything now, Julia. The marriage is already off and there is no going back for you. Me and my dad have precisely 0 reason to come and see you. No, Zara, stop it. Don't say things like that. You're family, and I'd love for you to be at mine and Harold's wedding. Oh, please come back. I'll apologize again when I see you in person, I promise. I'll apologize for everything. I'm begging you. Won't you please come back? Were you planning on using my brother's bank cards to go on a wild spending spree after you got married too? Like you have been doing all this time? On what planet do you think it's acceptable to spend your husband's money without even consulting him first? You do realize there's a case to make for it being a criminal offense, right? Huh? How? You're not even married yet, but you've been buying all sorts of things with my brother's bank card behind his back, haven't you? The attempted purchase of a $10,000 hair and makeup set triggering his bank security is what brought it to his attention. That one didn't go through, but when he checked his transaction history, he saw you've been spending his money behind his back on the most exorbitant, wasteful things possible for months. He's been having second thoughts about the marriage ever since. He was just waiting for the right time to confront you about it because he's so kind. We're done here. Or rather, we'll be done once you've paid my brother back every cent of his money that you spent. Make sure he gets his money, Julia, or there will be hell to pay. Hang on a sec, what the hell are you talking about, you delusional woman? Harold is my fiancé, and we're getting married soon. What's wrong with me using his bank card? We're going to spend the rest of our lives together, you moron. We'll inevitably end up making a joint account once we get married, so why should I wait? My spending is Harold's spending. There's just one small problem with that. You didn't ask for his permission. At the point you went on a spending spree with his money behind his back, your actions transcended the realm of marriage or engagement and entered the realm of crime. Anyway, your protests are in vain because my brother just messaged me saying the wedding's off. So would you quit harping on at me already? He said he's going to come home with me and my dad. Huh? What? What? And where the hell does that leave me? What am I supposed to do without Harold? Well, that's a good question. I guess you may as well start by enjoying the rest of your vacation before you have to fly home and face the hellish reality you've created for yourself. Not that it has anything to do with us. You're free to do as you please. Oh my God, no. Zara, please, don't even say things like that. Where did Harold go? I can't find him anywhere. Do you know where he is? Where is my sugar dumpling? Let me guess, you weren't paying attention again? Were you playing on your phone when he told you, just like always? Huh? Of course I'm on my phone. How could I not be when you're bombarding me with this crap? I do recall Harold mumbling something to me under his breath before he left. If it was so important, why didn't he make sure I heard him? You really are unreal. Your life is so over. It seems like you didn't hear a word my brother told you before he left, so allow me to pass on the message. The engagement is off. Harold also paid your entire family's travel expenses. So he'll be sending you a bill for all of it as a cancellation fee. Did you really not hear any of this when he told you? He said that? Oh my God. Where is he? He isn't answering my messages or calls. Where the hell did he run off to? He probably got sick and tired of you never listening to him. Besides, he has no obligation to reply to your messages or answer your phone calls anymore. The engagement is off, after all. You and him are nothing but strangers now. The same goes for me and you. I'm actually grateful that you launched into your hateful assault against me and my dad because thanks to that, we saw your true colors. Can you imagine if you'd have kept your mouth shut and managed to lie and deceive your way into the marriage? I wouldn't wish a wife as crazy as you on my worst enemy. Geez, talk about dodging a bullet. Dodging a bullet? Actually, I think he's making the biggest mistake of his life. And hey, how am I crazy? You don't know how crazy you are? The fact you can still act so crazy for so long and still not realize you're crazy is crazy in and of itself. Hey, quit being so mean to me. What the hell? Besides, me and Harold didn't even break up, and you're talking about the engagement being off? Bullcrap. Zara, please, can't me and you just try and get along? Surely it's not too late for us to give our best shot at making this friendship work. Friendship? Do you seriously think I'm interested in a friendship with the kind of low-life scumbag who'd insult my family? You even made fun of me for working as a hotel receptionist, for crying out loud. You literally insulted me in every way possible. Not only that, but you started spending like a maniac behind Harold's back using his bank cards the moment the marriage was decided. You quit your job because you were so damn self-assured my brother would be paying for you to exist for the rest of your life, didn't you? You can insult me for working on reception all you like, but at least I have a job. At least I make my own money. I wouldn't dream of abusing someone's trust by using their card without their permission. No, it wasn't like that. I didn't mean to abuse his trust. But please, Zara, he wasn't just someone. He was my fiancé. I thought it was okay because we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. My credit cards were already maxed out and the bank wouldn't let me spend any more. Oh, look, excuses, excuses, and more excuses. Is that the best you've got? Whatever, what do I care? The engagement's already off, and you spending the rest of your life with Harold is clearly no longer an option. Do us all a favor and stay away from us. Never try to contact us again under any circumstances. Do I make myself clear? You made fun of our dad because you thought our mom abandoned him for being a loser. How ironic that the only one being abandoned is you. You might want to start looking for a job so that you can start paying off some of that debt you're in. Your time might be more wisely spent on job hunting instead of making fun of hospital receptionists. Has everything settled down on your end? I know work can get crazy hectic for you at the best of times without having all of that crap to deal with.
Nah, it's fine. Actually, I feel like I owe you an apology. You went out of your way to go to Hawaii for my wedding, only to end up being subjected to that.
It's fine, really. Me, you, and Dad got like a day and a half of vacation in, so it was totally worth it in the end. I'm not even kidding. I really enjoyed myself. We never get to see each other as a family like that, so it really meant a lot. I'm glad I went.
I'm so pleased to hear you say that.
Anyway, what's the situation with Julia? Do you think she'll pay you your money back?
I doubt I'd ever see a cent of it for as long as I lived if it was only Julia I was dealing with. But thankfully, her parents are decent, respectable people with their heads screwed on properly. They apologized to me, actually. They said they'll see to it that Julia pays me back the cancellation fees from the wedding and honeymoon, as well as the compensation for spending all the money behind my back.
Phew, I'm super pleased to hear that. Thank God we saw her true colors before you got married. That's all I can say.
I'm glad you reached out to me before I made that mistake, Zara. If you didn't, who knows? I might have avoided giving the whole thing the thought that it deserved and dived headfirst into the biggest mistake of my life, if not for you.
You're too kind, Harold. That's your problem. Do you promise me to be a little more assertive from now on?
Man, did my little sister just tell me to be more assertive? Ha, I guess that leaves me no choice. Listen, Zara, thanks. If you ever need anything, I'm here.
You betcha. That goes for you too. We're the only siblings we have, so we have to have each other's backs. Let's arrange something nice for Dad to show him how grateful we are. There's nothing more important than family. After Harold broke off the engagement, Julia's parents exploded in anger at her with the rage of 1,000 suns, and apparently sent her off to a relative's factory for a stint of hard manual labor. Last I hear, she's currently being worked to the bone to come up with the money she owes my brother. As for Harold himself, he doesn't have time to feel down because he's so busy with work. As always, our amazing dad's constantly looking out for us. Me and Harold are going to throw him a surprise party soon to let him know how much we appreciate him. Let your loved ones know you appreciate them too, folks. Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to prove what a boss you are by liking and subscribing. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We can't wait to see you again next time.